Great. Well, so we've already done so much already tonight, so I just have to touch on a couple things. But I did want to say, awesome job on the firewall. That's a really nice step for us. I think that we're going to see some really great results from that. I'm really excited for what's to come. So, talk a couple things. And we and I met with some representatives from the student leadership program. Just kind of give you guys some updates on it. Really not many changes to the program, but I don't know how many of you guys, what you guys know about it. We have a partnership with the New York Times and USA Today, so we're able to distribute free newspapers to students on campus. There's different locations. There's one actually right at the basement of Shine, right there when you're walking out. You can pick up on your through swipe your ID. So that's a big service that we pay. We spend about $30,000 a year on that. We contribute one-third to one-third of the program. The rest comes from the Division of Student Affairs and the Office of Academic Affairs. So we split that between the three of us. Which I think is a great. How many of you guys pick up the paper before you go? I'm sure a lot of you do, right? Yeah, it's a great service. Which so we know we're getting our money's worth, but we need to get some more money's worth out of it. So we've really started to hope to utilize the speaker series that we can get. And we just had, I can't remember her name, but she was here. Can you help me out from USA Today? Do you remember her name?
Robin.
No, the speaker.
Oh,
Carol Stevens.
Yes.
Carol Stevens, print manager for USA Today, actually an SU alum, came to speak. And we're also hoping to get a New York Times speaker to come in the fall. So that's all the things that we get as benefits out of this program. Obviously, with a great journalism school, some cool stuff that can come out of that. But one of the things they did ask us was, do you guys want to see any additions to the program, or any other locations that we're not in that we should be in? A lot of the things that we had two that we've identified already as Marshall Square Mall and the Whitman School. We currently do not have anything, and maybe Eugene?
Moon Library.
Moon Library. We did talk about ESF, actually, that you can see that maybe we identified that as a possible location as well.
There's not one like on the block, right? It snows, but
There's one under the HBC.
I think I have the awning, yeah.
there is one.
HBC.
Maybe just put it right there.
Okay, cool. So if you guys see any more locations that we need to look at, or any ideas of what we can do to the program, we're going to try and redesign the boxes so we can get our actual logo on them, because we obviously spent a significant amount of money to it. All right, so one of the things we're also working with is creating an events calendar that we would take out and advertise in the Daily Orange that would run every week, that would include every event that's happening on campus that's funded by the student activity fee. Now the reason we're looking at this is because it's financially efficient for us, because would you rather fund a $100 ad for every single event that we fund, which is what, Jeff? We have over 150 budget requests this year, right? Something like that. So that's that's a lot of money. Or we could take one ad out and put multiple events on it, which I know would run weekly, so that all of you can see what events are going on. Because some of the biggest complaints that we hear is all these events sound really great, but I never know when they are or where they are, and how do I get there. So I think it'll always allow us for a better promotion of these events. And like I said, we'll run weekly in the same spot every single week, so you know where it turns.
Front cover.
Dylan. Okay, we just have to work on it. I have to work on the finance piece to it. So how much money we have? Nick?
I know the fact that you guys are working on the your student fee. Couldn't we attach that as kind of SU events to that site?
Possibly. It's a good idea.
Well, the thing is,
Jen?
I know we already have like calendars. I don't know if it's at Sam, I know there is a calendar online.
On Orgsing.
Yeah. But would it be better to maybe have a physical calendar, not in the newspaper, but maybe something like posted at Shine or something that would, I don't know, update?
Right. I think it's certainly an option to look at. I just think that it's a lot of work to update it, and then to turn over on it. But yeah, I think that I think we have better circulation because not every student goes to Shine, but how many people pick up the DO before they go to class with the Sudoku or crossword in it, right? So I think the circulation is a lot higher. Did you have a question? Oh, okay. Sorry. John?
We should make it also an iCal thing where you can just download it to your calendar on your phone or computer.
Nice. It'll be cool. On my website. That's a good idea.
yeah.
Write that down. Okay, any other questions on this? When we work out the details as far as rates and days and locations and things like that, I'll be sure to let you guys know when we actually sign that. Commencement Speaker 2012 has already begun. Can you believe it, Bonnie, that we're talking about our graduation now? Schedule.
And it came up with a speaker?
No. I just want you guys to know, I want to talk about how the speaker is chosen, Obviously with the speaker that just came out, with Craig Venter coming to speak for commencement 2011, but the committee is made up of class marshals from each individual school and college, as well as the board of trustee representatives, which, so it's all the class marshals. Jeff's actually a class marshal from within, and so we sit on the committee, and John and I sit on that as the board of trustee representatives. So basically we take a list of everybody who submitted everything online, and we come up with some other people and put together this list, and the list goes to the chancellor and her staff, and they work to see who they can get to come. So, you know, there's been talk in the past that it's not a very transparent process. I promise you that it is. Like I said here, that there's a strong sense of student input, that it's really, because that's what commencement is about. And I think that, you know, her staff understands that, and she certainly does, and this is what this is about. So there's no worries there. I know that there's been some talk about that in the past. But I just want to let you know that, because I am firsthand involved in this, that the door is not being shut by any means. All right, so there are some dates coming up that Andrea wanted me to remind you of. The first is that elections to the Board of Trustee Representative position will be 4/18. Petitions will be due, I think, is that next week? Next Wednesday, I think, is the 13th. So make sure that you get those in. The changes, if you remember from last semester, there's actually only one seat now because we guaranteed one for the president. So there's one seat available. It's a really interesting position, and we'll talk more about it in the coming weeks. I'll be certainly going to share mine, and Maya will share her experiences too. So if you're interested and you want to know more about it, let me know, and we'll talk some more about get a petition filled out. I think it's just 25 signatures. If you're interested in joining the Board of Elections and membership, we have a 100% fill goal for the coming year. So it's a big challenge ahead of us, and Andrea and PJ and the rest of the team have a lot of work to do, and they need some help. So if you're interested in doing that, and also Andrea is graduating, so we need to fill the BEM chair role. So that election will take place the 25th. Now you have to be elected to BEM before you can be elected to the chair. So keep that in mind. Right? And then finally, JRB. A lot of you I know don't know much about it, and we'll certainly talk more about this too. But the Judicial Review Board will be losing 2 of its 3 members at graduation this year. So this is something that if you're looking, you cannot be an assembly member and on JRB. But if you're looking at a time commitment or classes are coming up next year, but you still want to remain involved in essay in some capacity, but can't make the commitment to the assembly, this might be a good option. But also, if you know people who would like to be able to do this as well. Basically, the role of JRB is kind of oversight over essay. Bonnie?
Are you going to advertise these dates?
Yeah, we're going to get them out. Yep.
You being sent?
What's that?
You being sent me?
I don't know. I have to check on that. I don't know. Nick?
Just a little technical thing. The third member of JRB, I think, is going to apply.
Oh, so we're nobody. I think you're right. And there are 5 seats on JRB. Any other questions on this? Any other questions for me in general? Sean?
I saw it in the cabinet minutes that you've taken a pretty strong stance on the smoking policy. That's drastically different than anything I've heard from SA so far in the meeting we had before spring break. Can you justify and explain this sudden change?
Which change are you speaking about specifically?
You're saying you want to just flat out ban it, it sounds like?
Sure. We won't get into, I don't want to get into too much of a discussion yet because I want to prepare an actual presentation for you guys to go in depth. Do you think you could hold off for 1 week and we can do a presentation on it? Is that possible? I just want to make sure I have everything for you so we can do it justice. Any other questions?